Alright now, welcome to Star Enlightenment channel, and I'll make this video very quick. This video was about the three heavens, right? So the three heavens that they speak about biblically, um, but not even on a religious text, more so from just a spirituality point of view, because there's knowledge and wisdom and everything. That's true. So basically, even in the Bible talks about the three heavens, it doesn't get in depth with it. But the three heavens, the first heaven is of course that the world. When they say that the first heaven, they talk about the atmosphere and they talk about the clouds in the sky that we're on earth. They talk about the whole realm. This whole realm of earth in general is what considered the first heaven. Then you have the second heaven. The second heaven is the place that you go to in your dreams, aka the dream world, the astral world. When you astral project, when you jump into your imaginations, which that is the dream world. The spirit realm, when people die, you go to. That is the second hell. That's the second heaven. All right, and that's the place where if you die and if you ascend, or aka you ascend enough, or you accumulate a big enough um you rise your consciousness awareness high enough, you'll be able to inhabit one of those vessels where it's the same thing you have now. Like just like this is the first heaven and everything, three things make things whole, right? This is the first heaven, right? Earth. Three things make things whole here. You got germs, cells, bacteria, and insects. That'll be one dimensional. You have animals, that'll be second dimensional, and then you have humans, third dimensional. And you know what all these things mean. One is only being aware of yourself. Now remember, we have access to other dimensions as well. For instance, since we humans, the main two energies that we have access to the most are going to be fourth and fifth dimensional, aka fourth dimension, thoughts, fifth dimension, emotions and feelings. So this is why we kind of have control of these things to an extent, and we have an awareness of them. So to a bug, is really only aware of the first dimension, but a bug or an insect, it has access, just like we have access. We're in the third dimension where we have access to fourth dimensional things like thoughts, and fifth dimensional things like emotions and feelings. They're in the first dimension and they're mainly aware of their one dimensional, aka themselves, and them being individuals. But they're also aware of the second dimension and a little bit of their surroundings as well too. Not as much though, because they don't have as much access. They're not fully in that realm, that totality in that dimension, but they have access to it. But not even getting too deep into that, just telling you about what these things are. So I'm gonna go through it again. The one dimension, germs, cells, bacteria, insects. Second dimension, animals. Third dimension, human beings. Our perception is most greater in this realm of reality. Now in the second heaven, aka the astral world, the spirit world, the dream world, etc., whatever, the place you're going next if you raise your conscious awareness and you ascend high enough, it's the same thing. 4, 5, and 6. Just like it's 1, 2, 3 here, it's 4, 5, 6 there. So fourth dimensional being would be like a bug or a bacteria cell there. A fifth dimensional being would be like a planet there. That's an emotion and feeling. That's like you creating your own vibe. You being a vibe. That's why in astrology, every planet is matched with an energy signature or an emotion and feeling. But that's besides the point. And then the sixth dimensional being would be like a human up there. Would be a representation of a man or a woman or a human up there. Would be a sixth dimension, which is the sun. And then the highest, the third heaven, which you talk about where God at and or the overall, the actual universe, the concept of that is it's the 7, 8, and 9. So it's the same thing again, but it's the highest level of it. It's the most ascended, most expanded realm. It deals with the seventh dimensional being, which is like a solar system. And then you have like a bigger version of a solar system would be like a constellation, but that's all the same energy signature. The seventh. Then on the eighth, that would be like a galaxy. And then you have like nebulas and stuff like that. But those are all about around the eighth dimensional being. And then you have the highest, which would be like a ninth dimensional vessel, which would be like a verse, which I believe would be considered like when they talk about like super clusters like we live in. I think the one we live in is like it's called like the Laniakea supercluster. If you're in astrology and you're in astronomy, you know what I'm talking about. But these are big clusters, that it's like hundreds of thousands of galaxies fit all into one of these things. You see what I'm saying? That's what a cluster is. And I believe that is an example of a verse. But there's thousands and thousands of clusters. So this universe is truly endless. And knowing about how God is the overall, which everything is inside what you consider God or the universe, the overall. It lets you know how much God is expanded. We're on that same path. This is what I always preach. Even in my last video, I say I believe God is the ultimate expander. It's the ultimate expander. It knows how to expand its spirit greater than anything. But with that being said, I'm not gonna get too far off you. This video was about knowledge of the three heavens. Oh, and lastly, let me say this too. It also lets you know that life is within life. Like we're in the third dimension now, and we have one-dimensional beings inside of us, like cells, germs, parasites, blood cells, sperm cells. These are living things. And then higher than that, the fifth dimensional being will be like the planet we live in, right? We're cells to it. You see what I'm saying? We're cells in it. You see what I'm saying? We're third dimensional beings inside of this fifth dimensional body aka that being, which is a planet. And then the planet is inside of its own version of a planet, which a planet to a planet. It sounds funny. Will be a galaxy. So a galaxy to a planet will be like its actual planet or Earth or whatever world that it's in. A galaxy is like the world that a planet will live in. See what I'm saying? Um, yeah. So it gets pretty deep. It gets pretty deep. When you talk about it. So basically, life is within life. Life is always inside of everything, and as of us so below, we have lives and cells, bodies living inside of our bodies, and then we are cells and bodies living inside of an even greater body, and then that body, that planet that we living in, is just a cell, a mere life living inside of a whole bigger vessel, and then it repeats itself. You see what I'm saying? Till you get to the highest level. But yeah, that's spirituality 101 right there. This video was about knowledge of the three heavens. So we have a long way to go when it comes to the ascension process.